All right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday, and this is part of our once-in-a-lifetime series of events here at the Wine Watch, and only a few wines that you can put 10 years of in concession on the table and have all the wines be at least excellent in quality. Joseph Phelps Insignia is one of them. You know, I have a 7-tier rating system for wine. The top 3 ratings, excellent, most excellent, and killer. And all 3 of those ratings hit with this tasting here. And the killer rating only happens several times a year. And with Joseph Phelps Insignia, it happens several times in one tasting. But this was created by the great Walter Shue back in 1974. And Joseph Phelps, the first Bordeaux-style blend created in Napa Valley. God, hard to believe it, just that short time ago. But Insignia was... actually used to use all 5 Bordeaux varieties. The new release is only Cabernet Franc, Petit Verdot, and Malbec. But all the wines this evening were from the cellar of one collector, part of the service we offer here at the Wine Watch. If you've got more wine than you can drink in your cellar and you need help, please give us a call. We are here for you. We are here to help you drink your wines like Joseph Phelps Insignia, and we put 11 vintages on the table. I thought it would be prudent to show the current release, being we have that wine to sell as well. And the best wines, well, they turned out to be the best vintages on the table, and you know, the off vintages were still good. That is the sign of a great wine like Phelps Insignia. The 98 and 2000 were still delicious, but the 94, 97 really showed how strong these vintages were. 95 was not far off, and then the new releases, the 2001 was my favorite of those, but all the wines were outstanding, including the 2009, which the 2009, lovely ripeness in this vintage. I love 2009 from Napa Valley. Lovely black currant and black cherry fruit, really rich toasty oak spice, dark chocolate, espresso, toffee-like notes coming, fresh earth as well. Really complex, big and chewy on the tongue with lots of layers. This dark currant and cherry liqueur-like fruit, firm tannins, but ripe and round, really long finish. Really balanced for such a big wine, and this wine needs time. It has got all the right stuff, though. 2003, well, this was the youngest wine in the flight, and almost a sun-dried note to the black currant and cherry liqueur-like fruit, sweet tobacco spice, toffee, kind of roasted coffee note. Really nice complexity on the nose here. Smooth and polished on the tongue with ripe and round tannins. Drinking really nicely right now. Lots of dark spice and chocolate notes through the finish. Really long. Still quite fresh, though. A big wine, but it's got elegance and kind of a dried fruit note showing on the finish as well. Most excellent juice. The 2002, man, still a good amount of fruit in this wine. Red currant, dark cherry fruit, some beefy notes at first when I opened up some of these older notes, but that blew off. I opened all the wines at 5 o'clock here in the store, double decanted them, cleaned them up, and then brought them to the Cafe Maxx, and I have to say, you know, all that kind of beefy, dried meat character kind of blew off after the wines had a chance to open. So important to aerate wines. Soy and dark cocoa notes. Wow, man, this wine really well endowed on the tongue with layers of that dark earth and spice and a lot of primary fruit still here. Long and layered finish. Some dry tannins here, but plenty of fruit to mash. Most excellent juice, just a shade better than the 2003. And then the 2001, which was the wine of the night for me, of the younger wines. And this wine, you know, really showed some depth and complexity to it on the nose. Really opened up the most. Some really nice graphite and mineral, kind of lead pencil notes showing there as well. Dark currant, cassis berry fruit, sweet tobacco, vanilla. I mean, just opening up for the entire 2 or 3 hours it was on the table and just continued to get better. Really rich and on the palate, ripe. Lots of cassis and currant berry fruit. Some of those graphite notes showing on the finish. And lovely freshness here. This is a wine that's going to last for decades in your cellar. The 2001 Insignia killer. All right, well, the 2000, this is a lighter vintage, and it showed a lighter vintage. It's amazing when you put all these great vintages on the table. The great vintages really show the strengths of those vintages. In 2000, well, had some nice cherry and plum fruit, some milk chocolate, some dried earth, dried tobacco spice. Kind of evolved, a little bit more evolved, which is what we would expect from 2000 on the nose. Really smooth and round on the tongue with lovely freshness still, and nice fruit in this wine. This wine's still probably good for another couple years, but I would say drink it up if you have the 2000 Insignias in your cellar. Really showing nicely today. Some milk chocolate and toasty oak spice on the finish. Excellent juice. The 1999, this wine was a little bit, still a little bit tight. The 99s had a lot of tannins on release, and they got, well, lower ratings than some of the other great vintages of the 90s, but still a lot of black cherry and currant berry fruit showing. Still quite youthful there on the nose as far as the fruit goes. Notes of dark chocolate, tobacco spice, and a hint of that dried beef, which after the wines opened up and I brought them to the restaurant, that really blew off, and you really noticed the fruit more in the nose nose of these wines. Lovely structure here on the palate. Dark berry fruits, dark earth, a little bit of that beefy note still showing on the finish. Some nice tannins here as well, what the 99 vintage is known for. This wine still got legs and will be around for a few more years, I would guess. Really nice complexity, an excellent bottle of wine. 1998, which you would expect to be a little lighter, like the 2000, which was. This was the lesser of all the wines on the table, but still, it's Insignia. It was excellent juice. I would say drink up your 98s. You know, they may still have a few years left, but lovely black cherry and currant berry fruit, notes of tobacco, spice, dark cocoa. Like I said, a bit lighter than the rest on the palate, but some nice tobacco spice on the finish, and a little bit of a green note here as well, but nice freshness and excellent juice overall. The 97 was the wine of the night on almost everybody's scorecard. This wine had a really pretty nose, cigar box spice, toasty oak, vanilla, really strong, solid core of dark cherry liqueur-like fruit, even really sweet and ripe. Lots of complexity showing on the nose with this wine. And wow, big and juicy on the tongue. Lots of everything. Wonderful fruit, ripe and round tannins, really good freshness, a long finish, really complex. Killer juice, the 97 Insignia. This is a wine you could keep for another 10 years, possibly even longer than that. If you had the 74, I bet it's still fabulous today. All right, the 96 Insignia. This wine showed a little bit of a musty note to it. And when you get large production wines like Insignia, sometimes the different batches, this one may have had a little bit of TCA in it. I don't know. It did blow off, though, as the wine opened up in the glass. Starting to show some evolution, though, and dark currant and cassis berry fruit, dark spices, cocoa notes. And this wine has nice fruit on the palate. Still that distinct earthy note showing on the finish, that dried tobacco spice, and still good freshness, good balance in all these wines. Excellent juice. That was, you know, on par with the 98 for me, but still excellent. And then the 95 and 94, two back-to-back outstanding vintages from Napa. Hard to tell them apart. You know, this one had kind of a fresh, loamy note to the dark currant and cherry fruit. A little bit of earthy, more earthy on the nose, those beefy notes, which when we first opened it up, prevalent in the older wines, started to blow off, and you really notice the fruit in this wine. Really nice balance, a silky smooth texture at this point, and lots of spice and cocoa and fresh earth on the finish, but still enough fruit all the way to the end. Most excellent juice. And the 94, this got a couple votes for wine of the night as well. The 94 Insignia, lovely smoky tobacco note to the dark cherry and currant berry fruit, cocoa spice, some fresh herbs, really lovely complexity, opening up rather quickly, and wow, still lots of everything on the palate here. This wine's got lovely balance, lovely concentration and depth, and a long and layered finish. Most excellent juice, the 94 Insignia. And that's what I had to drink at our Insignia Vertical. I'm your host, Andrew Lamposoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember,